The next morning, Angelica was in a similar rush to the night before. Tommy was out of bed and at school in record time. His teacher waiting at the school gate surprised to see him at that time. Angelica was usually one of the last to drop her child off. This day was a rare opposite of that, Tommy being the first of his entire class to be present at the school. Child dropped off safely, Angelica decided that the police station was the best place to spend the start of her day. She didn't feel like she could bother Javi for another chat. He was a busy man with a killer to catch. But she also felt like he was keeping a few pieces of information from her. It was natural. He was a professional. He couldn't just leak information to someone who was essentially a member of the public. She grabbed a takeaway coffee, cappuccino, seeing as you ask, from the cheap place along the street and sat on a bench sipping her drink and reading a book written by her favourite author, Joe Nesbo. The man wrote some gritty stuff. She couldn't put it down. Every now and again, she looked up in the direction of the police station expectantly, but there was no activity at all in and out of the place. If you didn't know it was a police station, you wouldn't have guessed it from the lack of movement. Angelica always associated police stations with people in and out. Police, detective, criminals, ordinary people reporting crimes, solicitors. But this was as quiet a part of Javier as she'd ever seen. Her attention going back to her book, Angelica took a large swig of the coffee that had now cooled to a temperature that was much more palatable than when she'd first bought it. As she put the coffee on the arm of the bench, a light attracted her attention. The light itself was from the lens of a camera. But the unnerving part about it was that the camera was pointed at her, and behind the lens was Alex Grand. Angelica was creeped out beyond belief by this, but she decided that the only way to deal with it was to grab the bull by the horns. She left the coffee, got up, and marched in the direction of Alex Grand and his camera.